Shepard looks like he's 47 years old.
I'm telling you, bro.
Jesus,
like I said, injuries, man. That's what it is.
I mean, okay, but injuries shouldn't turn you into Peeze. I mean, like, he can't run with anybody. Welcome to Calling the Audible, Division E. Actually, you couldn't tell that by the end of that conversation, but the conversation started with, that was a pretty good NBA final. People are hating because they love to hate. I realize I'm not looking at internet comments anymore because all you get is Eagle. You get just trolls. You don't get intelligent conversation.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
No. When it comes to internet comments, strictly hate the player.
Do you know there's an actual rule on the internet that says to get the correct answer, the best way to do it is to answer the question with the wrong answer, because people will then correct you and then you'll know it's right.
I guess. Man, you make Eagle. Thank you for filling in for Chapman, who is on mop duty this evening. Thank you for filling in. Although you're what's wrong with the world today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can follow Eagle, of course, and join the show live by tweeting us at EagleFPF. If you want to tweet me anytime, you can tweet me at PeezeFPF. For those of you who want to tweet me, remember, I will use what you say against you in my articles in a fun hate mail segment. I enjoy it. Although I've received a lot of hate mail this season, which means, like, you guys can dish it, but you can't take it? What is that? I mean, that would encourage me more to send hate mail, but I guess I'm a different creature.
I think that just kind of speaks to this generation, though. Yeah,
I guess.
You talk a lot of trash, but when you talk trash back at them, or you back up what you're saying,
yeah, we're not. We are, Brent Bodkin, who joins me in studio. He can be followed at Bad News 51. I guess that is a generational thing where we were not easily offended by everything all the time. Which often gets me in trouble with a lot of things I say on FPF podcasts, but it's okay.
Millennials, my friend, millennials.
I was gonna hammer Eagle, because there was for the Division A and B show. I forgot to mention that show, but I'll mention it here because who cares? I had sent a thing where we're gonna bring up random segments. We'll try that on this show next week.
All right.
Where it's you send 3 topics, I send 3 topics, and Eagle chooses which ones we're gonna cover. And we just send the teaser. We don't actually send the full thing. So Eagle's something about F1 girls. I'm oh, Eagle. So anytime I want to write about race in my articles, he's always oh, you can't do this. It's very dangerous. You gotta, and it's not racist. It's a conversation about race. And then when Eagle brings up oh, let's subjugate women, that's fine. So when he's actually sexist, that's okay.
The topic was called So Hot Right Now.
And it was about F1 girls.
It was.
So yeah.
Which could have spun
Just
into,
saying.
Let's talk about the weekend. Let's talk
Jesus
about
Christ.
how we're objectifying women.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what I would have gone with if we go with that topic. So right now you should be looking at a picture of ribs. I hope that's how we started the show, Eagle, as per my request.
We did not. You just sent me.
Christ.
You sent me the picture of ribs. You didn't say put this on the show.
I said we're starting the show with the ribs.
I thought you physically meant eating them.
As did I. So you know what? I'm with you on that, brother.
Can we get that up on the screen, or is that too difficult?
Yeah,
Because Chapman would have had it up.
No, he wouldn't.
You don't know that.
Chapman would be complaining that he's not eating it right now.
Exactly, like I'm about to do right now, brother. Exactly.
The evidence of absence is not the absence of evidence. Just saying. We don't know what Chapman would have done.
Let me get the
I
picture.
really hope I got that code right. So this we started the show last week talking about barbecue, and now I didn't bring the ribs because we don't have a microwave in our new space. But yet we're working on it. We're still building the studio.
We just got a mini fridge. That's kind of cool.
So I wanted to, tease Brett Bodkin a little bit, but just looks alone.
I'm not impressed.
Not impressed.
I'm not impressed, brother.
What's that?
I'm not impressed.
What's up? Why not? Perfect
ribs,
mahogany color.
Cold ribs or hot ribs are better than no ribs at all.
That's fair. But I'm saying on look alone. We got mahogany color. It's got barbecue lines on it. It's got smoke rings on the inside. Come on.
That just kind of makes me want ribs even more.
I owe you ribs.
You damn right you do. You damn right.
It was good. It was twice rubbed, and it had a sauce and a glaze at the end. I really put some time into
They
that.
look nice. I got to see the pic. They look fantastic. But it's not helping me. It's not making me want ribs less.
Yeah.
We
By
now
talking
have
about
them
it now.
on the screen for everyone to look at.
At the end of the segment. So let's
What do you want from me?
Let's leave that there while we talk about some games.
I'd rather talk about ribs.
Which we did last week. Last week, like Rob was like, maybe you shouldn't be starting the show talking about ribs for 10 minutes. But we did that again, so it's all good. Did you catch any games?
I got a couple of games. The main one I was expecting to be a really kind of drag him out, not knock him down game, if you will, was the Smokin Axolotls and the Super Troopers. And as you guys know by the score, 39-14 for the Smokin Axolotls. That game was over by halftime. They were up 25-0, and Super Troopers got a couple late TDs from the main man, Double Z, Zach Swerm. But other than that, it was pretty much a no-show for the whole entire team.
Well, the Smokin Axolotls did win this one, but people not named Zach Swerm need to start making plays in this team. Who's the two and three that have to step up?
I don't want to throw guys under the bus, but
Please, this is the show. This is what we're gonna do it. Look, we have a picture of ribs here, which means we have immunity.
Okay, you know what?
I think
Gabriel Wiseman. I've been talking for a couple of weeks now about his impending return. He came back, I believe it was the week before, led his team to a W. And in this game, he just looked tentative the entire time. He didn't look comfortable with the ball in his hands. He's a quarterback. That's obviously a bad thing. He was shaky on throws, missing wide open receivers, or throwing it into double, sometimes triple coverage. It was definitely not a good game for him. And he's the main guy, I think, if this team wants to go where they think they can, and needs to step up.
You know what? I noticed for myself. Coming into the season, having not thrown for 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, and this is kind of like his first week or so, second week of games, I realized that the first couple of weeks it took me a while to find the laces after the snap. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing. It moves like a half a second from the play, but it was like, man, why can't I get my hand on the laces? And then once you start getting to your third, fourth, fifth game, okay, well, no, now I'm used to catching the ball and spinning it in my hand and getting the laces. So definitely an adjustment period for Gab Wiseman. On the other side, however, for the Axolotls, they're just better with Jason Rossi there, right? I mean, the teams just seem like, and he doesn't always fit the cap, I guess, because of other pieces they have added and so on. But now, I mean, with him on the roster, do you think they're a contender once again?
I believe so. I mean, we saw last year. I mean, he had a phenomenal season, and he helped break in his brother Jordan at quarterback. Jason obviously throws in a higher division, so he has that experience to help out his brother. But as a receiver, I mean, he makes plays. That's simply what it is. And as a defensive back as well. And we saw he had about 5 catches in this game. But it's just his presence and his veteran know-how that kind of really helps this team, I think, move along on both sides of the ball.
In nature, Eagle, I need you to find out if the axole is actually a promiscuous animal, whether they make plays and such. A game that kind of got out of hand a little bit, which we won't talk that much about. We want to talk about the actual football component of it, as I lost it for a second. Just for the reps, beating pension plan. The pension plan offense are having issues. The only big games they had were against new developing teams, DGC and the Tykes. Other than that, they're having trouble scoring points. Why do you think that is?
To be honest, I mean, okay, against Dress for the Refs, I mean, that's against a veteran team. The problem with the pension plan, I mean, it's kind of a different variation of Victoria's Secret.
Without Giovanni Bovada.
Yeah.
Which is huge because he's the best defender in the division.
And Adriana Lima.
Okay, yeah, correct. Yeah,
fair enough, yeah, for sure.
I thought you were coming to us with actual information.
It's, I feel bad saying this, but honestly, they're just not that good.
Right.
They can't move the ball offensively. And speaking to your point, I mean, against the Expendables, 6 points. Against Just for the Reps, 6 points. I mean, you're not going to beat anybody who's putting up a touchdown, even against the Little Giants, who we kind of thought earlier were possibly a good team. We'll get to them obviously a little later.
Yes, we will.
They only put up 12 points. And I mean, you can't. I mean, it's great to put up a lot of points against the lesser teams or the newly formed teams, as you're saying. But I mean, against serious competition, or at least middle of the pack competition, at least, you got to put up more than a touchdown a game.
Yeah, we need to know also which RRSP would recommend to the pension plan. You have some information on axolotl?
The female axolot has the capability to breed several times, continually restarting the process after each successive one. The egg of an axolot has visible feathery gills and a dorsal tail. Hatching takes place 2 to 3 weeks after the female axolot releases the eggs onto plants.
Jason and Jordan Rossi, you minxes. Straight up minxes. So give me an RSP for pension plan, just for laughs. Just for the reps. Jesus, what's wrong with you today? Just for the reps. They have to make a change. They have Norm Belmer coming in. Speaking of retirement plans, he is coming in to snap for just for the reps to replace Justin O'Canaro is dealing with some health issues. He'll be back hopefully soon. Best wishes to him. But how do you think this move will affect? Just for the reps,
it's not a negative move. I mean, Storm Norman, as we like to call him over the years, he has experience at the snap position.
And you like having a snapper as a quarterback because they see the field differently and they're able to find holes.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, he spent time as quarterback. He spent time as a snapper. He's smart. He knows how to play the game. He's kind of a cerebral player. So I don't think there's going to be much of a drop-off. And as we've seen, I mean, they got the W. So it's a step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And team playing smart was primetime this week. They beat YAMAJO. Oh,
Come on.
Chapman would have been so ready. Chapman would have been so ready.
Estação YAMAJO.
Okay, yeah, that's different.
Portuguese.
Portuguese, apparently. YAMAJO just looked off, just like that sound was. And Tansakis, however, 2 touchdowns. What's the inconsistent? They blew us out last week in 1-speed power, and then they show up next week and just delay an egg offensively.
It's a play of it starts, I think, with Terrence Dobson. I mean, he didn't have a horrible.
But like against us, he couldn't miss a pass. Like everything. Even when guys were tightly covered, just perfect arc on the ball. You know, just everything's catchable. Just looked great all the time.
And that's kind of the story of him as a quarterback. I think at least this year, where he'll have a game where against you guys, he looked like Joe Montana back there, and coming out against Primetime, who, despite the record, they do have some talent. 3 TDs, but then 3 INTs at the same time, missing a couple open receivers, putting up 1 touchdown in the first half. I mean, that's been the story of him and their team this season. Yeah.
Primetime ad, Cheyenne Stewart, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a pick 6. So basically all him, right? Like that's the key difference. That's why Primetime looked a lot better this week.
It's him. I mean, I like Josh Levine. I mean, I've had a chance to see him.
I've played with Josh.
Yeah, exactly. He's a good player. I think he's a little bit underrated. He's a guy that can make plays. I mean, and that's what he did against YAMAJO or YAMAJO Station, however you guys want to pronounce it.
Jesus Christ.
He makes plays.
How can you not be ready again?
I don't know. You do it every single time.
Yes, every time.
Yeah, we kind of do, yeah.
Every time?
You watch the podcast?
People don't get annoyed about that?
I don't care. That's a good point. It's my show. If they're annoyed, they can have their own podcast. Speaking of having their own podcast, Eagle is here supporting us, and he is here to answer your tweets. If you want to join the show live, you can tweet him at EagleFPF.
Also, I've implemented a YouTube live chat plugin directly in here, so you can type directly into the YouTube chat, and that text will appear on your screen. So
we want to make the show more dynamic.
Thanks you to Max Hammett 13 and Ollie 66613 who are tuning in and chatting, saying, "Why are we running so late? Can we start?"
We're always going to be running late. You don't get the show. The thing is that on Thursdays there's the dependable GM Collateris and Justin Blanchard, but Wednesday night's night for rock stars. So you got Brett Botkin, you got me, you got Marco Mastiotra, you got Vinny Galano and Deve Podcast. That's where the talent is. So we get here when we get
here. Dagenet, come on now.
Seriously.
You hear those stories from the celebrities about when they travel with the requirements they have for their drink room and everything. The rider, exactly. Pease's rider includes 30 minutes of delay.
Yeah, it's part of it. It's part of it. It ties into the fact that I need fluffers. So speaking of fluffers, the Hot Boys Hotline schedule perhaps was fluffed up because they entered and they had a tough game lined up against Part of My Swag. We expected them to struggle with quarterback. Avery Lala was not a quarterback. Also, however,
Tom Gatos
was not a quarterback. So what do we know about this game?
What do we know in the if you will, the battle of the backup quarterbacks is we know that Jesse Racine, who's played a bit of quarterback, obviously in the winter season. I don't want to say pick up where he left off with 2 TD passes and 4 picks, but he got his team to W. That's what matters at the end of the day. Another thing we learned with a 13-12 score, obviously conversions count. Conversions matter.
Fun fact, Hot Boys Hotline scored on the last play of the game, was 4 plays left, went for 2 and missed.
I do appreciate going for 2 there.
It takes balls. It takes balls.
What do your teams do, Brent, in that situation?
You know what? Actually, we ran into that situation with the Shaking Samurais, at least. Week 2, I believe it was, against the West Little squad. we were down by 1 as the Hot Boys Hotline were against Part of My Swag, and we decided, you know what? Some guys were saying, "Oh, let's go for 1, get the tie, and come out here for a point." Myself, Eddie Lee, a couple of the guys in Huddle said, "F that, bro. We got to go for 2."
But it's also not that much easier to convert for 1.
It's not a huge difference. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's a difference of a couple of yards. You have a play. It's either gonna work or it's not, right? I mean, and at the end of the day, I had a conversation actually yesterday on the way to my Division E and C game with my snapper Zachary Albers Gill, and we talked about how it feels to have a tie. I hate tying. I think it's pretty much a loss in my book.
We got one in Division D, and we've been saying all season we feel like a 3-2 team. Like, 'cause we're not 4-1. We're 3-1-1, and it's basically 3-2.
Well, that's exactly it. Thank you very much. I mean, I go for, if you have the chance to go for the win, go for the win.
The other way to look at it, just we've always heard the debates about how to finish a game. There were 4 plays left after that, so even if we had gone for 1 and tied it, they still get a chance to basically chuck up the ball in the air. So we figured might as well go for 2 and force them to have to actually get that ball and to get the win, because either way they're going to go for it.
Yeah.
There you go.
The Expendables on a tear. They win 37-21 over Little Giants. Little Giants lose 2 of the last 3 in the fluff part of their schedule.
Yeah.
These were supposed to be the easy games, and they've now lost 2 or 3. What's going on with Little Giants?
You know what? The Little Giants are they're looking little. They're not stepping up to the plate. It's a horrible pun, I know.
There's no such thing as horrible puns. All puns are great puns.
Wow, yeah.
I love you, man. I'm always going to support you. I always get you back. Even though you hate on my ribs that I didn't bring you.
Yeah, so to answer your question, man, Little Giants, again, they started off the season looking kind of nice. They were 3-0. They beat a decent Moss City team who's kind of finding their way now. But again, losing for the beer and then losing again to the Expendables. The Expendables are a team I'm coming around on. We'll get to them in a second. Little Giants, they need to step it up. They have a big game coming up against Sons of Mitch's this Tuesday. They need to get the W if they want to be taken seriously.
For sure.
And going over to the other side with the Expendables, I got to say, I've been impressed with Damien Jean-Jacques. 4 TDs in his last 2 games. He had a monster game against the Little Giants, coming in with, I believe, 3 TDs. Yeah, 3 TDs, 3 receptions on 86 yards. He's stepping up to the plate.
And David Raldi quietly having a nice season for the Expendables. Of his 15 touchdowns, 6 did come in this game, but he's only thrown 1 interception. So that's part of the thing in Division D that we see a lot of quarterbacks throwing a lot of interceptions. And another close game, Greendale Human Beings beat Homosapiens 27-26. Do Homosapiens have the hardest schedule in division? Eagle, if you can pull that up while we're talking about it, and then you'll read out the games. But in the meantime, Danny Aylward and Converts, I noticed in the finals last season, his decision making is very quick, and he gets the ball out of his hands so quickly, and he doesn't panic. He gets the ball out, and it just looks great.
The next 5 games are against Found Avocados, Smokin, Axolotls. I gotta go click this.
So, Found Avocados playing well.
Estação YAMAJO.
Then Spartans, and then finally the Raccoons? Rakins.
Yeah, not raccoon. What's a raccoon?
Thank you.
So is that for the Homosapiens?
Yeah.
No, that's actually not
That's the Greendale Human Beings.
Okay.
No, dude.
Yeah, that's for the Homosapiens. Peeze, that's for the Homosapiens.
Jeez.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I got you.
They have Farmers, Little Giants, Spartans, Dirty Mike and the Boys, and TBA.
Yeah.
So both these teams have brutal schedules, but Greendale Human Beings, I think, are a little more well-equipped to handle it. What are your thoughts, Brent?
Okay, you know what? Okay, we'll start. Okay, actually, I don't have the GHB schedule in front of me. I do.
No, but Homo sapiens is what I want. I want Homo sapiens.
Homo sapiens, okay, that's
Homo
the thing.
sapiens.
I think you just actually said GHB. Okay.
Sorry, I got confused.
Okay, the Homo Sapiens, their schedule, I think they can handle. You know, I was impressed. I mean, they came out the week before and kind of cracked the bed, if you will, against the Super Troopers, who are a decent team, obviously. They brought GHB, who we've been saying for the last couple of weeks now are the cream of the crop in this Division E. They brought them down to the wire. Again, conversions do count to play a drop here, a drop there, so on and so forth, what have you. They ended up coming up with the L. But again, if they could keep this consistency up, that they showed at least against GHB, I think they have a good chance of handling the schedule. They have the Spartans, yeah, that's a pretty decent team. Dirty Mike and the Boys, who are up there, we'll get to them in a second, obviously. I think they can knock them off. I think the Homo Sapiens can do it.
We have a comment saying, it's raccoons like the animal, you dum-dums, from Olivier Croteau Raymond.
You don't get the show.
Nice. Keep watching.
It will. And will always be Rakins. It is Rakins. It will always be Rakins. Like the animal. So I mean, you talked about Spartans being a decent team. However, they did beat Striking Samurais 20-6.
Listen.
Also, Eagle, while we're talking about this, I need you to look up why you're so bad.
Oh, that's an easy one. It's
No,
I
I need you to look it up. I need you to actually Google that. Thank you.
Against that game, that game last night against the Spartans. I mean, listen, I'm not going to take any away from those guys. They're a good team. They've been around for a while. A dominant regular season team. Playoffs are a different matter, but whatever. We'll get there when we get there. Against those guys last night, though, to be honest, I don't want to throw my quarterback under the bus, but it's a matter of just
Kevin Marshall.
Yeah, throwing the one side of the field. He predominantly just threw to his right. I think myself and Eddie Lee, we had time to make a beer and have a sandwich. We were that open on the left-hand side. Even James Dandria and some of the other members of the Spartans were saying, like, why isn't he throwing to the left-hand side? Like, we were open a lot. Even when we
that's the
switched
thing
guys.
For new quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Again, we're breaking him in, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. He's a great player, especially with his feet. It's just as a quarterback, he has to get confidence throwing to the other side of the field, which he obviously doesn't have, because when you go 6 of 19 and you have guys that are open, that kind of says something right there.
Brett Botkin was a sack.
Yeah, that's right. That's the highlight of the game for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. What it was, I'll describe the play quickly. Daniel Hernandez got a pass in the backfield. He threw it to James Dandria, and with my D lineman skill and repertoire, if you will, from playing tackle football, I got there quickly for the 3-yard loss, and that's a sack. Good times.
For sure.
According to Google, when you search "Why are Eagles so bad?" It's Philadelphia Eagles, why they suck. 11 reasons why the musical Eagles are overrated. 10 reasons why the Eagles will be a dumpster fire this season, and then a whole article explaining why are the Eagles so hated. So there seems to be a lot of online resources to back up your claim, Peeze.
Apparently. I don't even have a transition. I want to touch on One Speed Power DGC real quick because I just want to talk about DGC mostly. We won that one 33-6. DGC has some issues, and I wanted to address on the show because in case they do listen, I did send it to 40 Evangelista as well.
They do.
But I want to say, essentially, a lot of what happened was that the guys, like, playing in a zone doesn't mean statically staring at the quarterback and waiting for the play to happen around you. Guys a lot of times don't pay attention to what's happening. Their quarterback, Nicholas Borelli's got a great arm, but he spends so much time rolling around in the backfield.
Yep.
And, like, he just needs to read the play, get rid of the ball, and make plays. They have a great rusher. Corey Werner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man, like I'm not a guy who's affected by the rusher very easily because I just I'm 12 yards back and I get rid of the ball quickly. And my God, was he in my face all game? And I normally don't care about speed rushers. He also burnt me for a 40 bomb because I was in 4-1 lock and he wasn't on the field prior to that. On that drive, he lined up against me on first down. And I was like, this is not good.
You know what I got to say? I'll say something quickly about him. He had 14 sacks last winter. This was his first game playing, and he already had a sack. And as you mentioned, with the speed with the 40-yard TD, his first game back, he had a sack, and I think he's going to pick up a lot more. Mm-hmm. He's a player, he's a rookie essentially. I mean, this is his second season, if you will, as is for his entire team. And he's just a guy who he no matter what the score is, he doesn't quit. He always brings his A game no matter what the score is, no matter how his team plays offensively. He would bring it defensively. So there's a guy I'm going to be looking forward to watching the rest of the way.
And I wanted, on our side, I just want to touch on quickly because a lot of the same guys always get the press. Yep. Myself, Will Power, Dan Bornstein, Lucas Blanchard. Yep. But this game, Dan Attard had his best game rushing ever. A lot of the interceptions in this game, and it's not on the stat sheet because he didn't get a sack, but he put a lot of pressure on Nicholas Borelli, forcing him to throw off his back foot, and all the balls were short, and that's why there's so many picks. I just want to run through some quick notes for the games we haven't covered. Farmers.
Dum 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 dum.
Beat Dirty Mike and the boys in a surprising game. Corey Greenway having a huge impact on Farmers. Look forward to seeing not only how his impact on the team helps statistically, but as well how they can improve so quickly. Dirty Mike and the boys have not won a game where there's a lot of scoring, so they lose this one 31-25. Can they win a game, Brent, in a shootout fashion?
I think they can. I mean, obviously losing this game with the shootout. I mean, I had a quick chance last night to talk to John McQueen. He just said they came out, they were flat. They didn't take those guys seriously, and a bit of controversy at the end with a catch by Corey Greenway. He was tackled Literally, he had caught the ball on the second to last play of the game. He was down at the 1, so then on the last play, so they gave the referees threw a flag. They gave him an extra play. The TD pass and went to him to win the game. Jonathan was saying that he was sure the ball actually hit the floor, but nonetheless, Corey got the touchdown. The Farmers came out of there with the W, so a nice win for them. The upset victory over to the Jamaican boys. But to answer your question, I think they can. I think they can win a shootout. Obviously, they're not really used to them, considering I think they're the best defense in the league, and they've showed it pretty much the first couple weeks of the year. But they had the firepower to win an aforementioned shootout. The guys like Jerry Gallant, Tyler Doucette, Derek Fontana. So they had the talent to do that. We're going to have to see, obviously, if they can going forward, but I think they can.
Rickens finally win 30-6. They get their first win. Maxime Lachance with 3 interceptions in this game. Then moving on to Moss City, who we mentioned before.
Yep.
They go to beat 4th and 20, 26-12. Vince Maniti has not thrown for more than 125 yards yet this season. Andrew Ferrier on the other side, okay for his second start. However, Benoit Vanier was the star with 2 pick sixes. Face Jazz beat here for the beer. Aaron Omby is such a talented snapper. Is he not being used enough, do you think, Brent, by quarterback Eddie Rousseau?
I think that, to answer your question, he could be used a bit more. If you look at it right now in the season, he has 8 catches, only 68 yards, so he definitely can be used more by Rousseau. So it's going to be a matter of, let's see if they can pick up on what they did in this last game here against Here for the Beer going forward the rest of the way.
All right. TBA wins against Friday Night Tykes 42-0. Tykes without Tim Horner, so there's no story. The Spread President take on West Little Squad. They lose 21-20. Gabriel Bellan Lapointe now 4 less touchdowns than interceptions. He has 14 interceptions, 10 touchdowns.
I actually watched that game.
Okay.
I had a chance before the Striker Samurais game last night. I was warming up. I watched a majority of that game. The Spread President, they were up 14-0. They got a late. The West Little Squad got a late touchdown from Matthew Kazaka just before the end of the first.
Was that the
half.
throwing touchdown or the?
It was a throwing touchdown. Yeah, it was a throwing touchdown just before the end of the first half. But I mean, let's try to President. They had multiple opportunities to pull out that game, and again, it came down to, as you can imagine, interception from the aforementioned Gabriel Bellan Lapointe. It's kind of a heartbreaker because these guys were fired up. They were playing hard the entire game, and you can see West Little Squad. They kind of didn't know what hit them. It was like a boxing match. It was like the Squad President came in there and they started just hitting on West Little Squad. They looked a little shook there, the first 8 to 9 rounds of that fight, and then just at the end, it came down to West Little Squad making a play and Latrobe President throwing another INT and getting the L.
Okay, so that's all the games. Let's go quickly through each of the conferences. You've already done your sort of mid-season breakdown.
Yep.
So we won't have that to look forward to the season, but let's look at each of the conferences, each divisions within the conferences and subdivisions and such, and see if you think, or if we think the leader will keep the lead, and whether the last place teams have a chance to make a run. So we'll do that quickly, just sort of like quick hits kind of thing.
Yeah.
Eagle, is it on the screen also?
We'll
pointing at?
yes.
I mean, I obviously know because it's a real screen.
Conference A Central, you have West de Little Squad currently at 4-1, being chased by Spartans just for the reps at 3-2, Striking Samurais 2-3, Choix de Président at 1-4.
I think Spartans are coming. I just think it's a well-built team. James Landry is so good for this division, and I think that in the second half of the season, West de Little Squad will start to fall apart a little bit.
No, I got you on that. I mean, last night, even the Spartans, they brought back Charles David Martel, who's a huge difference maker on both sides of the ball, as a receiver, as a rusher, even played a bit of defensive back. Yeah, the Spartans are coming. West Little Squad does have the talent, but they don't have the veteran know-how to consistently play great football, and I think the Spartans do, at least in the regular season, so I think it's going to be the Spartans division.
And who was the last place team, Eeks?
Le Choix de Président.
They have a chance to move up?
No.
No? All right. Bottom dwellers.
All right, in Conference A East, we have Greendale Human Beings at a perfect record of 5-0.
They're staying there.
Yes,
They're going to go 10-0.
Let's go to the West.
What else do we got?
All right, then you have Found Avocados. We also have
Estação YAMAJO.
then Sons of Mitches and Rakens, the animal.
Although, I will say the Rakens, that they won't make a ton of noise, unlike Rakens in your yard, but the Rakens will improve as the season goes on, and I see the season ending with like maybe 2 or 3 straight wins by the Rakens.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know about ending the season for when. I mean, they played the Greendale Human Beings.
Okay, well, I kind of mean like of the last like 4 games, I can see them winning 2 or 3.
No, definitely. You know what? And I was actually impressed against the Montreal Raiders. I mean, you got to put things into perspective, but they have a lot of speed. They have a lot of playmaking ability with Maxime Lachance, Alexandre Lemoyne. It's just a matter of the quarterback. His name escapes me right now. Sebastian Gagnon. He can make plays with his legs. He tore up the Montreal Raiders, and I've seen him even throughout the season make plays with his legs. It's a matter of him as a quarterback evolving as the year goes along, because he'll see a read. If his first read isn't there, he looks to run, and he just trying to his throwing motion is a bit of Tim Tebow-ish, if you will. Doesn't always come out great. Yeah, definitely a long release indeed. But it's a matter of him just having confidence in himself, because they have the speed even on offense to make plays. It's just that they can get consistent play out of the QB position.
The West?
In Conference B Central, actually, we have... Oh, wait, no, there is a West. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
There's Dirty Mike and the Boys.
I meant Conference B, anyway.
There's Dirty Mike and the Boys at 4-1, being chased by Little Giant at 3-2. We Are Farmers, Dum 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 at 3-2. And then Homosapiens 2-1, Here for the Beer 1-4.
Homosapiens are so disappointing. I really thought this was a locked division for them. I can't see who was the first team again? I can't remember.
Dirty Mike and the Boys.
Dirty Mike and the Boys holding on to that just because they're going to get into games with points are scored, and they're not going to score 30 points. They can't score 30 points in the game so far.
I'm not sure about the offense. I mean, I think they can. Like I was saying a few minutes ago, they can put up points, I think, when push comes to shove. But again, the Farmers now have the tiebreaker over them. Right now, the Farmers sit
and they're playing well.
1 game back. Well, that's exactly it. So I think out of, at least in Conference A, that division is up for grabs. It could be the Farmers. It could be the Homosapiens. They have been disappointing, but you do have the firepower with Francois Delory.
And who was last?
To make it happen.
Here for the Beer is last.
Yeah, it's the first season, guys. Learn everything you can. The beatings will make you wise. That's what my mom told me.
Conference B Central, we have One Speed Power and Faith Jazz at 3-2, the Pension Plan and Super Troopers at 2-3, and DGC at 1-4.
All right, so I'll let you discuss the top, and then I'll touch on. Well, I already touched on DGC, so
yeah.
This is you, Brent. You do what you want to do.
Obviously, you guys sitting there at the top of the division. Actually, you guys are tied with Face Jazz. I haven't been.
Well, we have the tiebreak, though.
Yeah, you do have the tiebreaker. Face Jazz. I mean, they did beat Striking Samurais. I wasn't there for that game.
Which is why
it's possible. Yeah, when you throw deep all day long, and it's whatever. Listen, I mean, you guys should win that division, but I mean, the Super Troopers are there. I mean, despite the
where we have the tiebreaker.
You do have the tiebreaker, and they did shit the bed against Smokin A's. Let's be honest,
Smokin
That's what it is. They actually asked me not to mention that game. A couple members of the team told me not to talk about that game. But I got a story.
It's like you don't know what we do.
It's on the internet now.
You know, but that's exactly it.
It's there forever.
You know what? I'm gonna say that the Super Troopers definitely do have a chance to catch you guys, but will they? That's another story.
Conference B East, Hot Boys Hotline at 4-1, Pardon My Swag, Expendables, and Smokin Axolotls 3-2, and then Montreal Raiders at dud and 5.
The Axolotls are coming. I think they're gonna take over this division. Jason Rossi's playing with them full time, it seems, and Jordan Rossi and Jason Rossi just have a great connection. And Tom Gatehouse will eventually gatehouse the division away from Hot Boys Hotline.
Yeah, Pardon My Swag has a tiebreaker now, obviously over the Hot Boys Hotline. And you know what? The Smokin A's, they are coming, and I was impressed. I mean, you have Rory Submergian. He brought his brother Sean, who isn't as athletic, but he made a lot of good plays, and he has size. He has size and speed on his on his side, and he made a lot of plays.
That's a team that doesn't need more size and speed.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And with the Rossi brothers coming on now, with Jordan, if he could just keep the level of play at a plus, if you will, in terms of not making dumb passes, not turning over the ball. They have everything they need to win that division. I think they will end up, at the end of the day, taking the East.
And then finally, Conference B
West.
West.
Who's the last place team? Oh, you said
the Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders. They're going to struggle.
And then Conference B West, TBA at 4-1, Moth City 3-2, Primetime 2-1, Friday Night Tykes 1-4, 420 Blazin, dud and 5.
This is the weakest division by far. I think Clay Sakura is going to just tear it up for TBA. 420 Blazing's going to. I can't look. They're 0-5 and they're not playing particularly well. So I see them maybe winning a game or two, but they'll stay at the bottom. TBA will make easy work of their schedule and then likely lose first round.
TBA, I mean, obviously, I think they're the class of that division. But Moss City, again, I mean, with that defense, it's going to be interesting week 9 matchup when those two will go head to head.
Yeah.
I think with the Moss City defense, that could possibly carry them to had the potential to be battling for first place in week 9. But again, I think TBA, at least with that offense, I think they should be able to walk away with it. I don't think they'll be one and done in the playoffs. I think they'll make the second round.
One done.
What's the
You heard it
pronunciation?
here.
All right, yeah, you heard it here first.
Please forget
You
it
heard
when it doesn't happen.
What's the pronunciation of that animal team again?
Smoking Axolotls.
No, the other one.
Raccoons?
Yeah.
Rakins? Or?
Dude, come on. What is that? What's a?
You're inspiring angry smiley faces in chat.
I don't know what that means. Are they angry or are they smiley? This generation, man. Pick a side. So that brings us to egronyms.
That does bring us to egronyms.
So every week we have Eagle or Chapman give us an acronym whereby Brent and I will define it, and then Eagle will choose the one he likes best, and we will never actually define it, thereby learning nothing.
So this one probably comes back to you from your childhood sitting in front of a computer. IDDQD.
Why is it
So
I don't-
long.
Jesus.
What is that? Where's Chapman? What is that? Come on.
Can I
dude.
fire you now?
Really?
No.
Can I fire you later then?
No.
I forgot another name. I know there's an I and a D.
IDDQD.
IDDQD?
Did you guys never play Doom?
No. Played a lot of Madden as a kid.
Yeah, seriously.
NHL.
Which is why we're better at FPF than Eagle. IDDQD. I don't dislike quality destruction.
It's not bad.
No, I'm just gonna give it to you. by forfeit, you have it, dude. You got it.
I just threw words together that had those letters. All right, so that brings us to
Games of the Week.
or as we like to call them the things that will never happen. But yes, we do call them games of the week.
All right.
It's got 2 names. Go ahead.
In
So
the-
I'll pick one, and then Brent will pick another one.
In the first game, we have the Expendables versus...
Estação YAMAJO.
I think this is the return of YAMAJO Station. Terrence Dobson plays one good game, one bad game, one good game, one bad game. They played a good one 2 weeks ago, bad one this week, good one this coming week.
All right, next we have the Pension Plan versus One Speed Power.
Huh, that worked out well, actually.
Oh, there you go. That's exactly it. Yeah, I think you guys get another W with that against the pension plan.
All right.
We have Hot Boys Hotline versus West Delil Squad.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a game that Tom Gatehouse is away. It won't be this one.
He's not here this week.
Oh,
he's
then,
on vacation.
in that case, with the little squad winning going away, you won't be able to stop Michael Kazaka. Eagle, I suggest you cover him 1-on-1.
Striking Samurais versus Just for the Reps.
That's still me. All right. Just for the reps are a well-built team. Smokin' Samurais. See, although, dude,
Striking?
like a samurai in like a house coat with a cigar. It's pretty badass. I like that one. So Smokin' Samurais from now on. I think we don't really know what we're getting out of Kevin Marshall week to week at quarterback, and I like Just for Reps as a solid, organized team. I think that will help them get past the Striking Samurais.
Pardon My Swag versus the Smokin' Axolotls.
Okay, go ahead. That's you. Sorry.
Yeah, you know what? If Avery Lala's there, I'm gonna go with part of my swag. If he is not, I'm gonna go with the Smokin' Axolotls. So it kind of depends. But you know what? Even if he is there, Smokin' Axolotls are looking pretty good right now. It's gonna be hard to pick against them.
All right, we got Here for the Beer versus the Raccoon/Rakins.
No, dude, come on. Go with the show.
Rakins.
Thank you. All right. So, coming into the week, I thought that Here for the Beer and Rakins would have been a terrible game. I still think so, but for an opposite reason. I think it'll be a blowout in favor of the Rakins because the Rakins showed to me they have a lot of speed, a lot of talent on the team, and I think Here for Beer still have a lot to learn.
All right, we got 420 Blazin versus Montreal Raiders.
I'm gonna go with the Montreal Raiders. Okay, obviously, you know what? They're 0-5 right now. There's definitely a chance they could finish 0-10.
But so are
and that's
420
exactly.
Blazin.
And you know what? Despite being 0-5, I did like a couple of things out of the Montreal Raiders. Obviously, Tevin Nichols is kind of the one-man show on that team. But a guy who showed me a little something with decent hands, a little bit of an argument with the quarterback during the game, and actually I had to take this guy's side, is Cam Chadell. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He has good hands and looks like he has a bit of football knowledge. He knows how to get open. If his quarterback can hit him or not, it's another thing. But you know what? I think the Montreal Raiders get after Schneid this week and get their first W of the season.
Homosapiens versus an insurance group known as Farmers Dum 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 Dum.
I'm going to go with We Are Farmers, dum, 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 because I just see a lot of inconsistency. Francois Delorier still hasn't learned to position a quarterback in a way that he can be trusted week in, week out. John Moody played for him this week. I actually like him in the huddle and helping the team out, but I still think they fall short.
All right. In the next game, we have Le Choix du Président versus, what's his name? Jay Candichenar's Super Troopers.
Nice.
The Super Troopers this is late breaking news, will be without Zachary Alberts-Gill, their sack master. But I still think they have enough talent to...
He masters that sack.
Yeah, he does master that sack indeed, especially on my C team. I think the Super Troopers will have enough firepower, obviously, with Double Z, Zach Sorum to come out of there with the W.
DGC versus Face Jazz.
Face Jazz for all the things I said about DGC before.
Friday Night Tykes versus Dirty Mike and the Boys.
Dirty Mike and the Boys will be pissed off about having their first L of the season last week. They're going to come out and I think they're going to smash Friday Night Tykes. It's not going to be close.
Primetime Moss City.
Moss City has 5 interceptions for Ben Mavani already. And... Excuse me. I lost my voice for a second. And a handful of them sprinkled throughout the rest of the team. I like this defense a lot. Moss City win this one.
Little Giants, Sons of Mitches.
I'm looking to the camera as I say this. Little Giants, again, if you want to be taken seriously, you need to get the W and get your act together because you guys have been crapping the bed the last couple of weeks. With that said, I am still going to go with Sons of Mitches.
Sergio Sicoli, please show up to your games. You are needed.
TBA, Spartans. All capital letters in this game.
Spartans win this one. I think this is going to be an education for TBA who are getting by on their ability. Spartans are just a great flag team. They're smart. They adjust. A lot of teams in the FPF don't. TBA are going to learn a lesson this week. That's what I believe.
I'm going with TBA in that one, I think.
All right.
And then in the last game, last game of this week officially, because it's also Tuesday at 10:30, Greendale Human Beings versus the Lost and Found Avocados.
That makes me hate you more.
That's fine. Bring the hate my way. I funnel it into a hate machine and it spits out love.
Can we just end the show right there? Let's not say anything. End it at 9. I can't even say that's a high note.
This is your game. Greendale Human Beings and Found Avocados.
We're going to end it on an awkward note. GHB. GHB.
Just because.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be in the division. Final thoughts, Brent?
GHB shouldn't be in the division. And breaking in rookie quarterbacks is hard. I got a little frustrated last night with Kevin Marcel. But again, I like the team. I like the guys on the team. I think we're headed in the right direction. Possibly we can get some offense. But we'll see.
Eagle, final thoughts?
I never want to have to push this button again.
Nice.
Never again.
You will, though, if you ever produce a show again. I'm going to go for a 2 this week, real quick. My first thought was, once again, DBD. This show's all about acronyms. Don't be douches. I don't want to go into details. There was an altercation between teams on the field and spilled out into the parking lot. Guys, come on. It's just a game. It's just flag football. We're a little silly on the show, and part of the reason is let's have fun with this.
There you go.
Because this isn't that serious a thing. And my second thing that my second thought, I'm going for 2, the Rakens. Thank you, Brent Botkin, for stopping by. Thank you to our live studio audience, Simon Dagenet, who's waiting patiently to start his show. Thank you, Eagle, for not being as good as Chapman.
I take offense to that.
Most importantly, thank you all for letting me be myself. You played the wrong song!